Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everybody, back to Referrals Podcast. And yes, I even mean you trainers and speakers and hardcore salesmen. I welcome you as well. It looks like we ruffled a few feathers over the last couple of weeks, and I'm not apologizing. I'm okay with it. I've had conversations with trainers. In fact, the biggest organization in real estate, the National Association of Realtors, one of their trainers gave me a call and we had a nice little chat. And I just want you to know that when there is a no solicitation sign on a door, don't solicit them. When there is a do not call list, please check the do not call list before you call those that you don't know. And before you knock on a door, make sure it doesn't say no solicitation, or how about we just knock on doors of people we know? How about we just call people we know? How about, we don't chase strangers anymore? And how about we just communicate with friends? Let's quit marketing to strangers and start marketing to friends. Doesn't that just make sense? Or just communicating with friends. We don't even need to market to friends. Friends don't need marketing. You might want to write that puppy down. Friends don't need marketing. Friends just need communication. And that's the secret to all of this is, man, it's time for us to stop marketing to strangers, and it's time for us to start communicating with friends. If you lost your dog, who would help you? Your friends would help you. Your neighbors would help you. The people around you, your family would help you. And guess what? It's the same way in business. To get your next client, your family will help you get your next client. As long as you're a good person, as long as you're good at what you do and you communicate like what you need, guess what? It's going to happen. So I just want you to know that I'm not apologizing. I'm hopefully not going to go on any tangential rants during this broadcast, but I'm no longer saying it's okay how you do things. And I told the NAR representative the same thing. It's not okay. They're misrepresenting the real estate agents and the realtors brand in the world when there are $40 million lawsuits being settled out of court. I can only imagine how many $10,000 fines there really were in that pending lawsuit. And it's not the only one. It's all over the place, right? It's telecommunications companies. It's solar companies. It's lending. It's all these different places. And it's like people don't answer the phone. Everything that's coming through says scam likely. I mean, what kind of world do we live in when there are more caller IDs that say scam likely than caller IDs from friends of people we know? What is that saying about the world? That's the problem. That's the problem. And you're like, the problem is, well, we don't know any other way to do business. We do. Call us at Referco. I will help you get business from the people that you know, from your current clientele. And it's not just me. We have a team of me's that are better than me that will help you. And I think the bottom line is we're going to get to the last few of the 23 ways to not get referrals in 2023. Now, I've got a couple of things I've got to do first. One is I've got to give a shout out to Cassie Stevenson. She rated and reviewed the podcast. She gave it 5 stars, right? 5 stars. And the title of it is Always Hopeful, Always Helpful. And it says, Michael and his guests always have a positive can-do attitude. This is a great place to come to get tips and be inspired, especially when so many in the market are talking gloom and doom. Real tips that are applicable and really work. Cassie Stevenson is out of my old stomping grounds in Overland Park, Kansas. Cassie Stevenson, thank you for the rating. Thank you for the review. A book, Creating Superfans, is on the way. And I will tell you that we may have 1 or 2 books left. If you will rate and review this podcast, and you can review it wherever your favorite place is to listen to the podcast, and then take a screenshot or a picture of that rating and review, drop it into joingengen.com. That is our referral community, our referral group, our tribe of trust, if you will. And that's our Generosity Generation referral group at joingengen.com. So all you got to do is share the picture in there, and we will send you a best-selling book called Creating Superfans by Brittany Hodak, rhymes with Kodak. And it is autographed. And also we have a commemorative bookmark that is marked as one of the first 500 that have gone out. So you're going to get one of the first 500 of our books. And we've loved handing out those books. We'd love to get you one. All you got to do is rate it and review it, take a picture of that or a computer screenshot, and drop that into the joingengen.com Generosity Generation group. And who knows, when you join it, you might actually get referrals as well. There was just a couple of referrals exchanged this week, and we'd love to learn more about your business and refer you. The next thing is we're coming up on the March Magic Challenge. Many of you know that we have the Referral Mastery System and 3 pillars within that system. We have self-mastery, relationship mastery, and event mastery. And a lot of our classes are usually under one of those pillars, like 30 Mornings is self-mastery, Sweet Dreams is self-mastery. They're both ritual classes. And then we have event mastery, which of course fits under event mastery. We have the book club, which fits under the relationship mastery, and so on and so forth. Well, we have occasionally these 30-day challenge classes where you get 30 days of coaching from me with accountability. And each day I will send you a referral tip to implement that day. Well, throughout the 30 days of March, what we'll be doing is we will be giving you a referral tip, and then you'll have accountability to implement that tip and put it into the Gen group. Well, I will tell you that we have had some amazing success stories with March Magic, but the best thing about it is it gives you the ability to kind of sampler platter the referral mastery system. So you get little referral tips every day, and they fit under self-mastery, relationship mastery, or event mastery. So they're kind of these little quick tips, and what we hope is you'll implement them and get some quick wins and get some quick referrals. And that's why we do the 30-day challenge. It's been very, very successful. This is the 5th year that we're doing the March Magic Challenge. I encourage you to check it out at marchmagicchallenge.com. While you're there, if it's appetizing to you on the whole sampler platter talk, is check out Referral Mastery Academy, because if you're in Referral Mastery Academy, the March Magic Challenge and the 30 days of coaching with me is part of your subscription with the Referral Mastery Academy. I encourage you to check that out. So that leads us to today and the 23 ways to not get referrals in 2023, though, of course, we hedge all of these by telling you how to reverse that and to actually get referrals with some of these things. So I'm going to start with another one that, and by the way, after all the calls and the feedback that I've gotten over the last couple of weeks, I didn't change any of the last of the 23 that I've got listed. And some of these are controversial. Some of these are debatable even. And I'm open to that debate. If you want to go to Join Gen Gen, come in and ask me questions about any of these or push back. I have no problem with that. I will love you no matter what. And I just want you to know that I hope that you listen with a questioning ear and watch with a questioning eye. I want that, because you know what I know? We're going to pass the eye test and we're going to pass the ear test, because we're based on love, generosity, and appreciation. We're good to go. We're in full integrity with all of this. I want to know what you think. Please give me feedback. I would love it. I encourage it. So guess what? The number 16 way to not get referrals in 2023 is to build rapport. Build rapport, building rapport. You know what the first thing you should do with clients or potential clients is to build rapport, right? And should we build rapport by asking questions like I outline in using FROG, family, recreation, occupation, and goals, in that order, by the way? From 7L, yes, we should have those, right? We should, but if you think that building rapport is going to get you referrals or business, you are going to be sadly mistaken. And I want you to know that the worst thing you can do is be superficial or fake with your questions, right? And the key to starting all of this is be genuinely curious. Be genuinely curious. Something that I've told all my coaching clients, and I've done several masterminds, several podcasts in the last 35 days, is don't be an expert on the market, because you can't be. You can't be. You don't. In fact, you don't even care, right? All these programs are there for you to be the expert in the market or the marketplace or what. Don't, right? Be the expert in the person across from you. That's it. That's how you win, is be the expert in the person you're meeting with. Learn so much about them that you know more than their best friend. You know more than their spouse. Learn about them, their hopes, their dreams, their goals, their challenges, their loves, the things that they want to do, right? And then help them with those things and just supply those things. Help them fill those needs and wants. And the thing about it is I will tell you what, the worst thing you can do is be disingenuous, right? With your building rapport. It comes across, it's so easy to see. And I can just look in your eyes and you really don't care that my favorite football team is the Chiefs. You really don't care, whatever it may be, right? You're just making small talk, and I see where you're coming from. It's just like, no, just make it part of the conversation that you're genuinely curious about the other person's hopes, dreams, aspirations, favorites, and what they like to do. And the other part of it too is it doesn't stop with building rapport. Building rapport is just the first step. Where you want to go is with proactive generosity. So you find out that somebody likes the Chiefs, or you find out there's a book they like or whatever. Then you take action on that new knowledge, right? So you're not building rapport to just get likability. As we all know, being liked is the fastest way out of sales, right? Because you always want to be liked. You always want to be liked. And the fact of the matter is listen, you can not be liked and get a lot of referrals. That's the truth. We talked about that on this show a bunch. You know, there's 4 things. I'm going to give you 4 things that you can choose from. And you can only pick one of these 4 things. Number 1, you can choose to be liked, right? So you might vote for that. So number 2, you can choose to be respected. Maybe you choose number 2. Number 3, you can choose to be trusted. Maybe you choose number 3, right? Or number 4, you choose to be referred. Out of those 4 options, you can only choose one. Which are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to be liked? Are you going to choose to be respected? Are you going to choose to be trusted? Or are you going to choose to be referred? You can choose whichever you want. But I will tell you, if you choose to be liked, you're going to be disappointed in this life, because that says that other people's opinions are worth more than yours are to you. And the fact of the matter is that should not be. The fastest way out of sales, the fastest way out of business is trying to go around trying to be liked. Should we provide great customer service? The answer is yes, 100%, right? But here's the thing. You might say, choose to be respected. I want to be respected. I want to be tough. I want people to know how great I am. And it's like, okay, right? So know your stuff, right? Know your stuff. Be competent. I love that, right? And then be trusted. What else is there if there's no trust? You got to be trusted, right? So you might say 3, number trusted. It's okay. But here's the thing. Why would I say maybe we all need to choose number 4? Well, because if we're referred, we're liked, we're respected, and we're trusted, maybe at different degrees out of all 3, but it's paying off in referrals. And that leads me to why you should choose number 4. Don't seek to be liked. Don't seek to be respected. Don't seek to be trusted. Seek to be referred. Gauge your days, gauge your months on, are you being referred? And if you're not being referred, we need to work on some things, right? So here's the thing. Why should we choose number 4 to be referred? Because it pays the best. That's it. Like, what are we doing in business if we're not getting referrals? What are you doing? If you're not getting referrals, what are you doing wrong? You're obviously doing something wrong if you're not getting referrals, right? What else is there? If you have a company and you're not getting referrals, there's something wrong, right? So obviously you're doing something wrong because you're not getting referrals. And it's probably something you're just not doing that you should be doing versus doing something wrong. So I just want you to know that building rapport is a way to not get referrals. What we really need to do is ask great questions and then act on what those things are. Be genuinely curious and then be proactively generous. You might want to write that down. Be genuinely curious and then be proactively generous. Proactive means they're not expecting it. Don't promise them that you're going to send them an article or a book. Just send the article or book. And guess what? They will reciprocate with referrals as long as you do it the right way. So that's number 16 on the top 23 ways to not get referrals in 2023. The next one, the number 17 way to not get referrals is to send market updates and home value reviews if you're a realtor. Like, really? Like, have you seen or used HomeBot? Just go talk to a lender about HomeBot. I'm gonna make this one really easy, right? If you think market reports or talking to people about their home value will lead to referrals, you will be wasting a lot of time and energy. You know, what do you do in down markets? I mean, how exciting is it to call and say, well, I just wanted to let you know you've probably lost $15,000 in value in the last few months. Sorry about that. Even though I had no power or control over it, I would just like to be the bearer of bad news. Please don't kill the messenger. By the way, they always kill the messenger. People simply do not care about the value of their home until they go to refinance or sell. Don't do a home value update. Please don't do it. Do not do it. Do not call them, especially right now, and let them know that the value of their home has decreased. They don't want to hear. And here's the thing: why would you do that? It's like calling somebody and say, "Hey, I heard you got a new car. Congratulations! I understand as soon as you drove it off the lot, it was worth $10,000 less." Who does that? A jerk does that. Don't do that. You're not a jerk. You let HomeBot be the deliverer of the message, right? And that's a big ad for HomeBot. I'm no way affiliated with them, though maybe I should be. HomeBot rep, give me a call. That's the number 17 way to not get referrals in 2023, is to just think you're going to send market updates and do home value reviews with them. I'm just telling you, not going to work. All right. Oh man, here we go with another one. You ready for this one? The number 18 way to not get referrals in 2023 is to give a gift. Give a gift, right? This will lead to referrals or not. There's nothing like an ulterior motivated gift to set people off. There are people teaching you to give gifts to get referrals, or stop by their home or work and give them a gift. Please don't be a delivery driver, and please don't give gifts if the thought is that it is going to lead to referrals. I want you to remember one thing. I want you to remember this forever. You are the gift. You are the gift. You be the gift. You bring proactive generosity to people. You practice proactive generosity. You are the gift. You are the gift. And what we need to do on a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis is to make that gift more valuable. Okay. You are the gift. Be you. Be real. Be genuine. Be the best friend that a person could have. That's it. Now, does that mean you need to be friends with everybody? No. you can be the best friend possible without having to meet them every weekend and get silly drunk with them, right? In fact, I would say maybe the best friend in the world isn't the one that's going out with them and get silly drunk with them. The best friend in the world is they go get silly drunk and they can call you at 2 a.m. A lot of people know they could call me at 2 a.m. and we would arrange for them to get a ride. And I wouldn't even think, I would go back to bed, or I would go pick them up, drop them off, and I would go home, go back to bed, and I'd never say anything ever again, except to maybe check on them in the morning. Be the best friend ever. And here's the thing about like your job on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis is to improve the value of the gift. How do you improve the value of the gift if the gift is you? You implement the habits of the successful, which goes back to like 30 mornings and sweet dreams and the March Magic Challenge that's coming up. You implement these things. And when you do, you become a better person. You become more helpful. When you join Gen, you join the generosity generation, you instantly become more valuable because you can go to an ambassador or a potential partner or a champion or somebody that you're meeting with, and you may not be able to help them, but most likely somebody in the generosity generation can help them. If they have a 1927 Rolls Royce car that they're looking to sell and they can't find anybody to buy it, bring it to Gen, and guess what? We may know someone who collects old Rolls Royce cars and can put them in contact with you. You put those two people together. They ended up selling and buying the car. The car becomes a transaction. Who wins? Everybody. In fact, the whole community wins. Here's the other thing. Take in information and keep growing. That's how you make the value of you even more, is by you've got to keep growing. Grow every day. Get smarter every day. Put in one or two habits and just do it every single day. Drive your daily habits to be better. Be healthy, wealthy, and happy. And that's how you make yourself more valuable. And the other thing is you make yourself more valuable by networking and meeting great people. And the best way to meet great people is take the great people you already know, and they will introduce you to the great people they know, and you've instantly doubled your network of great people. Listen to the Referrals podcast. We will help you make the value of the gift you give to everyone in your network, everyone in your community, everyone in your tribe, more valuable. We will help it raise its value, make it more value. And the more value you deliver the world, the more the world will deliver the value back to you. The law of compensation is in order. That's number 18. Can you believe we're at number 18 already? Number 19. The number 19 way to not get referrals in 2023 may surprise you. And that is be a great marketer. Be a great marketer. Yeah, I will tell you that I was a great marketer at one point. My degree, I have a master's in business administration, which will surprise a lot of you because you didn't think I was that smart. And I'm telling you, you don't have to be smart to get an MBA. All you got to do is keep going to school. You just got to keep going, and eventually they give you all these degrees. Pretty soon, you can get 360 degrees and be a circle, right? Or you can go get your MBA in marketing and communications and become a great marketer, right? Here's the problem with being a great marketer. A great marketer, or somebody who considers themselves a great marketer, which is far greater amount of people, will market, right? They will create ads and emails and landing pages and funnels and so much more just to try to get a stranger, just to chase a stranger. They will then try to figure out how to convert those emails. Or, you know what? They'll try to convert emails like mickeymouse@fu.com, which, by the way, I've had that email address come in from one of our lead generation sites, right? And the thing is when was the last time you gave your email and mobile to a stranger or to an online forum? Like, when was the last time you gave your email and phone? I mean, the fact of the matter is we don't even do that anymore. Like, no way, Jose. The problem with the marketer is a marketer's head is, how can I get attention from strangers when their focus and your focus should be on how do I communicate with friends. So much of marketing is about tricks and clickbait now. It's sad. Don't be a great marketer or a great salesperson. Be great at what you do and be a great person with a great communication plan. That's all you have to be. The thing I will tell you, when I was in marketing, all I could think about was like marketing. All I could think about was how do I trick somebody into filling out this form or clicking on this. And I remember the days with the websites, right? Is should we show people homes or should we have them give us their email and register before showing them the homes, right? You remember that? I mean, and it's like, I mean, I would come up with all these creative ways for people to give me their, and you know what? I already had 20,000 emails in my database of people I knew and had met. Maybe I should just talk to them. Yeah, we got through that. So I will tell you, don't be a great marketer. Don't. Do you need to understand some of the marketing concepts? I will tell you, you see marketing sprinkled through our entire communication plan. The referral mastery system has a lot of what I know from direct marketing, from direct mail, from advertising, from what works, and all. Our invitations are essentially, that we teach in Event Mastery, glorified marketing pieces, but they're no longer flyers or brochures, they're invitations, right? So we can use the concepts of color and order and size and font and everything else to make great invitations for our people versus using them to try to catch the eye of a stranger. Why the heck are we even doing that? And you might think, well, there's more strangers out there than there are friends. But the thing is that, but here's the thing, you can get to them one way or another. You can get through them through introductions, connections, and referrals, which is a lot faster, gets you more business. It's more efficient. It's fun. It's friendly. It doesn't require you to get fined a bunch from the do not call and government, right? And it's like, that's the way to go about it, right? Is get really good at getting invitations, introductions, connections, and referrals from the people that already know you, and you'll never have to market another time. I'm just telling you. Don't be a great marketer. Be a great person who understands communication. Be a great communicator, right? If you want to be something, be a great communicator. Work on your communication skills. That's the answer. All right. Another one that is, listen, this one might be a little controversial. This is really popular right now. The number 20 way to not get referrals in 2023 is tell everyone your story. Long story short here, nobody cares. Work harder. Nobody cares about your story until what? Until you hear their story. Who is the hero? Is it you? Oh my God. How many of you have ever sat across from someone who literally just went through a class to determine their story, and they're telling you their story, and you're literally like trying so hard to pay attention, but they lost you like 3 sentences in when they went back to their addiction or they went back to their, and it's like, I get it. But it's like, man, I didn't even ask you about that. Like we're just talking like how we can help each other here. But it's like, here's the thing. Nobody cares about your story until you understand how you're going to help make their story better. How do you make people better? How do you make their lives better? So if you want to tell your story, you could write a book. There's a lot. I mean, Matthew McConaughey just wrote his book, right? Green Light, or not just, right? And he told his story. I love that. It was good. Okay book, right? But here's the thing, by the way. I just want to thank Matthew McConaughey. I know he's an avid watcher of Referrals podcast, maybe. But here's the thing is, I will tell you, the song The Hum, which is based off what he did in The Wolf on Wall Street, where he was like, right? that song is fantastic, and I listen to it all the time. So he motivated that song, he inspired that song, and I just love that song, and I love the thing that he did, and I love Leonardo DiCaprio for telling him, hey, listen, what was that thing you did before we went on the air? And it's a warm-up drill for actors, right? And DiCaprio's like, incorporate that into the next shot. And so Matthew McConaughey did, and, you know, it became legendary. And Matthew McConaughey is an icon, and it's one of those where, check out the song The Hum. I'm not sure who it's by. I apologize. I did not prepare for that before we jumped into today. But here's the thing, right? Is story selling is the branding of the 1990s, in my opinion. Remember branding, right? And some of you probably think branding is still really important. And I will tell you that the brand is what the consumers think of you. So just do things that make them think of you better and more. And that's branding. You just won the branding battle, right? It's not a catchy logo or slogan or something like that, right? That all comes later. All of my stuff has come later. The first thing I did is I just built a really good business based on communication. And that's what you need to do. Build a really good business, and then, you know, let the branding and let the people tell you what your slogan is, right? So I believe that we need to understand our story and understand why we're in business, and really what is the benefit of like story selling, story branding, and that kind of thing. The benefit is you find out your why. That's really the benefit, is it traces. And once you understand your why, it helps you get up earlier, get up better, and get up more excited to start and work your day. That's the power of it. But I'm telling you, if you're going to lead with your story everywhere you go, you're going to bore the crap out of a lot of people. But you know what you need to become really good at? And you've probably seen me do this on Referrals Podcast. Tell me your story. Tell me your story. Get really good at learning other people's story. Listen to them. And just really like once you've asked, then if somebody else, the best time to tell your story is when somebody says, hey, what's your story? Or tell me your story, or how did you start your company? Like, that's when you tell it. But the thing is even if somebody said, hey, tell me your story about why you wrote 7-0, it's like, I would instantly just kind of like, you know what, let me tell you that in a second. But before I do that, why don't you tell me your story? Like, tell me what brought you here today. And they're going to tell me. Well, then when I tell my story of why I wrote 7L or how 7L helped people, I can actually tailor my answer to them. And we now have a common bond. We have a common place to communicate from. I know how to help them. They know how I can help them. And we can move forward in space and time and love and life and business in a more collaborative way. I'm just telling you, like, should you know your story? Sure. Work on it. Get to know your story. Get good at articulating it. But you know what? Get really good at articulating how to have other people tell their story. And listen with genuine curiosity so that you can hone your message to maybe how you can best serve them. That number 20 is powerful. And that is, listen, the number 20 way to not get referrals in 2023 is to tell your story. And I'm telling you, it's just a big one right now that had to be said. And that leads us to the 21st, right? And the 21st, this is a marketing guy who has done lots of brand consulting. And I help people develop brands, slogans, acronyms, titles, group names, and things like that, right? But the number 21 way to not get referrals in 2023 is to build a brand, is to start with your brand. And yeah, I'm going there. Like, what is your brand? You know the original meaning of brand? Do you guys know where that's from? The original meaning of brand was to take a flaming hot piece of steel or metal and shove it into the side of an animal, causing lots of pain in the animal. And here's the thing, right? Nobody cares about your brand. They really don't. And to many people, your brand is different. Like your brand to one person could be you work with first-time homebuyers. And your brand to someone else would be you work with luxury people. And to somebody else, you're a real estate resource. And to somebody else, you are whatever it may be. And of course, I'm speaking realtor speak here, but it's everybody, right? Here's the thing is rather than focusing all your, God, how many people went out of business in the 90s and the 2000s because they spent tens of thousands of dollars on their glamour shots, their logo, their look, their business cards, their brochures, their flyers, and they spent tens of thousands of dollars and had no business. Yeah, they looked great, but it was all superficial. There was no work being done behind the scenes. Instead of making everything pretty, make your daily habits pretty. Listen, and here's the other thing. Focus on your reputation. Focus on your reputation. You can change brands. You can change companies tomorrow, right? You can change. You're looking at us, like we're changing the look and feel of Referrals Podcast. The guests are still the same. They're real people, real stories, real referrals, right? But the look and feel is changing some, and it's because we're bringing on new production assistant, new engineer, new producer, new staff, and they thought, you know what, we'll change it to indicate the new change. And I'm like, that's great, right? But the thing is we're changing our brand and our look. Do you care? Like, do you care? Like, you don't care, but you're going to, I will tell you that we'll have some votes out there and join Gen so you can help us with the brand change and the looks change and all that. But the fact of the matter is it's not going to make any difference to the content that we're providing. It just won't. But you know the reputation of me and you know the reputation of my guests, right? And you can change brands, but your reputation follows you everywhere. Bernie Madoff, right? FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried, right? Theranos and Elizabeth Holmes. You know, there's so many examples of reputation fails. Be impeccable with your word and serve those who need your product and service as well. Focus on that and the brand will come and so will the customers. And the brand in many cases will come from your customer. They will tell you your brand and it may surprise you. The purpose of you and your company is to be referable, period. That is the purpose. That is your life's purpose, is to be referable. What does it mean to be referable? Somebody else can go, I can count on you and I trust you. That's what it means to be referable. Your job in life is to be referable. Your company's job in the marketplace is to be referable. That means they can count on you and they can trust you. It doesn't worry what the brand is. It doesn't matter what it looks like. So are you building a referable reputation and a referable company? If you're listening to Referrals Podcast, you probably are. You're building it on love, generosity, and appreciation, and your own other set of core values. I don't believe that the only core values in the world are love, generosity, and appreciation. It happens to be ours, but you know what? Yours can add many other ones to that. But be a value-driven company. Be a value-driven human. That's the answer. And that's number 21. That's the 21 way to not get referrals in 2023 is to focus on building a brand and paying a bunch of money for logos and titles and slogans. Quit it. It'll come to you. We had a slogan in real estate, one of the best slogans ever. Our slogan was, we're not number one, you are. We're not number one, you are. And by the way, we had that when we were number one in our office and number one in the other, right? We were number one, right? But our slogan, we're not number one, you are. And the O in the YOU, the U was capitalized. And the O was a smiley face. And a smiley face was our look. We used smiley face balloons for our open houses. And when we had subdivisions, we had the smiley face logo and balloons on the way in. And the smiley face was kind of the thing that stood out. And it's just like that just came about, honestly, from our clients. And actually the slogan came from interaction that I had with my brother, Rob Maher, who was an attorney, and I made an attorney joke. He made a realtor joke. And then my comeback was, hey, remember, Rob, we're not number one, you are. Because he joked that there were 6,580 number one realtors in Kansas City out of the 6,580 realtors, right? And so that's kind of funny, but there's a lot of truth to that humor, right? And I was like, we're not number one, you are. And as soon as I typed it, I was like, that's it. That's our slogan. We are the Maher team. We're not number one, you are. And the thing about it is that it was great. It was catchy. I had a lot of compliments. I trademarked it. It's trademarked, right? And it's just one of those where it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. And yeah, enough about that. That leads me to number 22. We have 2 left. There are a lot of maybe other ways to not get referrals in 2023, but I think I've been pretty all-encompassing with these so far. So here's the number 22 way to not get referrals in 2023. Do 30, 33, 36, or 104 touches. Do you have a 33 touch program? Do you have a 36 touch program? By the way, there is a trainer who espouses doing 104 touches in a year. That's 2 per week for a year. I mean, yes, there is actually a 2-touch per week email system out there. Oh, can you imagine? I mean, some even espouse more than that. Here's the deal. Not all touches are equal, and the same touch over and over becomes bothersome. 104 emails? No. 104 calls in a year? Could you even imagine? You'd never do that. Rather than a 36 touch email system, run a multimodal approach. You may want to write that down. Multimodal, multi-channel, multimodal approach of calls, texts, events, one-to-one meetings, emails, video emails, text, Facebook messages, and so on, right? When you implement the 7 levels of communication, use a variety. Have a multimodal approach. Dear God, don't be sending 36 emails, right? I mean, 3 a month. What are you going to say? And you're like, well, I'll send a market report. We've already talked about that. See how many different ways you can communicate rather than doing what is easy. Wouldn't it be great if we just set it and forget it? But, in the words of one of my good friends, Brad Korn, if it's easy, it won't work. And that's the truth. If it's easy, if you think you're going to set it and forget it, it won't work. The key is to have a multimodal approach to communication, multi-channel approach to communication. I encourage you to check out what we do with our 2 52-week programs for the people you know. We have a Top Yap, which is the yearly ambassador program for the top people you know, VIPs, ambassadors, your champs, right? So here's the thing, is that's the Top Yap yearly ambassador program to keep your cheerleaders cheering. And then we have the All Yap, which is the yearly appreciation plan for everybody you know. And I encourage you, it is a multimodal, multi-channel approach to getting referrals and communicating with the people you know. I encourage you to check those out. So much science, research, beauty to it that I encourage you to check it out and make it happen. And by the way, we do go through some of those in the March Magic Challenge. So that would be another kind of teaser for marchmagicchallenge.com. Check it out. So that leads us to number 23. And this is the last one of the 23 ways to not get referrals in 2023. That makes sense since the title was 23 ways to not get referrals in 2023. Here's the thing. I don't know if this is the number one way to not get referrals. I think all of these are number one in a way. And for some of you probably hit home or triggered you in different ways. But the number one, or in this case, the number 23 way to not get referrals in 2023 is not having events. Not having events, seminars, workshops, parties, right? Not having get-togethers. Not having a one-to-many strategy for your clientele. you need to have a one-to-many strategy. And the perfect one-to-many strategy is events and parties. The number one mistake of companies, brokerages, realtors, lenders, and small business owners is that they don't do events. That's the number. And the second biggest mistake that I see all of those companies doing is they just have one client appreciation a year. And by the way, we don't want to call our events client appreciation events. We want them to be friends and family events. That's your, clue of the day, if you will. But that's like a tip for your events is don't have the word client in them, right? Is we're going to focus on friends and family events and appreciation events, and that's where I Love You Latte comes in, and housewarming parties, and notice they're not called client appreciation events. So the secret with events is a series of events, is having several events in a row that build momentum and that build energy and build your referral base. And when you start to have these, a flow occurs in your business, your life, and with your tribe. You actually have this heartbeat in the tribe. It becomes alive because there's daily interaction. There's flow. There's, you're in the zone with them all the time. There's two-way communication. And when you build that bridge of two-way communication, what happens is you get more referrals because they're in flow. They're thinking about you all the time because you know what? You're communicating with them all the time in a non-rude, non-branded, non-pushy, non-same way all the time. So I will tell you, you should have a series of events, a series of shared experiences. People love experiences, and they can't buy experiences on Amazon. You can't buy experiences on Amazon. A shared experience in the form of an event is electrifying for a sphere, customer base, and a community. The energy is in the event. Our event mastery class is world class in helping you deliver a referral generating event and an experience your guests are sure to talk about and share. I encourage you to check out eventmastery.com. The entire program is trademarked. It's one of the best in the world. It is powerful. It is a difference maker. I have literally read every book on experiential marketing, event marketing. I've helped over 2,000 different types of events happen and many more of clients who have had events. And it's one of those where I truly believe that the way to get referrals in 2023 is to host events. That's my bottom line. But you might think or say that I've had events and I didn't get referrals. It felt really good, but I can't trace anything to the referral. Get Event Mastery. Go to eventmastery.com. Join our class. We'll show you how to document. We'll show you how to get referrals before the event even takes place. We have at least 4 different ways you can get referrals before the event even happens. And then we have ways for you to get referrals as part of the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up, right? So those are the 23 ways to not get referrals in 2023. That's right. We covered do nothing. We covered be dishonest or have smelly breath. We covered dress aggressively, right? We covered ghost referral sources. We covered ask for referrals verbally. We said don't put an I love you referral sticker everywhere. Please don't do that. I know you don't. So also we said a way to not get referrals is never refer others. That was number 8. Number 9 was put business stuff all over Facebook. You're not going to do that, right? Please don't print LinkedIn connections and ask to be connected to them or Facebook friends or any kind of a list of their people and try to get connections to them in a very shotgun approach. Number 11 was master sales skills, which obviously triggered a few people, especially the hardcore closer. And I think it's one of those where that's one that is, guess what? Just be a great human. And then number 12, referral rewards programs don't get referrals. So what do we got to do instead, right? And then we talked about, hey, number 13 was ask for sex. That's a way to not get referrals for sure, or get sex. And hey, listen, depending on your goals, you know where we're going with that, right? So then we talked about all these other different ways that you cannot get referrals, right? So we talked about ghost complainers, right? That's a great way. Just ignore it, it'll go away, or not, right? So communicate by email and text only. No, we know a variety of ways needs to be the way to do it. Build rapport was the number 16 way to not get referrals. Number 17 was to do market updates or send market updates, or do a phone call or Zoom where you go over their home value. That's really fun when the market's going down. 18 was give gifts. No, don't give gifts. Don't, especially one with an ulterior motive, right? Proactive, right? Proactively generous gifts that they're not expecting. That's one thing, right? And give it without the thought of reciprocation. Just give the gift that makes sense for them. All right, so you are the gift. That's the thing to really remember about that one. And then be a great marketer is not going to get you referrals. And then tell everyone your story because they all want to know it or not. And the bottom line is build a brand or just be a good human, right? And they will tell you your brand. And then we said about, having these 30, 33, 36, 104 touch. The number doesn't matter, right? The number. It's a multimodal, multi-channel approach that works. And that's why we said number 23 is not having events is a great way to not get referrals. And so that means having events is a great way to get referrals because you can invite them in many different ways. You can follow up in many different ways. You can use a multi-channel approach to inviting and a multi-channel approach to thanking or following up, and everybody loves you, as you should. And you should be loved because I loved you and you're worth loving. And those are the 23 ways to not get referrals in 2023. And I'm telling you, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to debate with you. I'd love to have a conversation with you. I want to know your feedback. Let me know in the Join Gen Gen group. Also, we do have a couple of books left where you can rate and then review the podcast and then share that picture in the Join Gen Gen group. We will send you a Creating Superfans book with a commemorative metal bookmark, which is really nice. Thanks to Brittany Hodak for those. I was glad to buy a case of her books and love buying her books. And the last thing is check out marchmagicchallenge.com. It's like going to a buffet and getting the chance to sample a bunch of referral tips. It's coaching with me for 30 days with accountability. You'll be accountable to the entire Generosity Generation group. Ooh, right? That sounds scary, but we're a really supportive group and we love you. And I think the bottom line is you listen to Referrals podcast. I appreciate that. If you're still here today after the last two and this one, then you know what? It's time to move forward and progress forward with a business that's built on love, generosity, and appreciation. Let's go have fun. Can you believe that funprospecting.com was available as late as November of 2022? I got funprospecting.com just a while back. Are you telling me that out of all the domains, multi-millions, maybe billions of websites and domains that have been bought and sold and nobody's ever thought of funprospecting.com, and yet here we are having fun prospecting? So you can check out funprospecting.com. It'll lead you right to ReferCo, lead you to what we're doing. But I just want to say thank you so much for listening and viewing, rating and reviewing, subscribing to Referrals Podcast. We love you. We appreciate you. And we're looking forward to the best 2023 ever. Thank you so much for being with us. And we will see you next time on Referrals Podcast. Thank you for being here.